Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk Monday, November 14th, 2022. We got a lot of stuff going on tonight. Big Monday night football game just had a bit upset. We no longer have an undefeated team in the NFL, as the Philadelphia Eagles just went down to the Washington Commanders. The Commanders ran the ball 47 times tonight. Really exposed that Philly defense. Was able to get some turnovers. We'll jump more into that here in a minute. But first, what's going on, Judge?
What's going on, my man? The Eagles lose their first game of the season. It is hard to go a full season undefeated.
They're going to lose their second game next week against the Colts.
I don't know about that one. I think this team, can bounce back from a tough loss. I know this is a tough pill to swallow, but the Eagles, they're still a good team, even though they lost one. I mean, you can't win them all, Chris.
Oh, no.
You just can't win them all, and it happens on any given Sunday. In this case, on any given Monday,
Yeah.
But
What
the
happened?
Eagles are still a stacked team.
Oh, no, they're a good team. But what happened tonight is exactly what me and my dad was talking about earlier on our Colts show, Horseshoe Talk, about how the Colts would have to, what the Colts would have to do to beat Philly. And it was that. It was hand the ball off to Taylor, and you got to get that run game going. And Philly was able to use that game plan tonight. That's the same game plan that the Colts need to go in with, is we got to stick to the run and run the ball. And I think we can have some success. You can see that their run defense is suspect. They got good corners. They're good on the pass defense. But if you can get going running the ball, you can stay in the game with them. Washington proved that tonight. Even with a couple turnovers, Washington was still able to win the game because they created some turnovers. But no, it was a good Monday night football game.
Oh no, it was better than I expected. I kind of had the Eagles, blowing the door open. Why? I don't know. I just like the Eagles this year. They just look like that unbeaten team, and they're still a top tier contender, believe it or not. There's no question about it. But yeah, I'm with Dustin. Washington exposed Philly tonight, and there are some weaknesses on this team, but every team has a weakness. Every team has a weakness, and we saw what that weakness was, and that was their inability to stop the run. And the Commanders knew that, and they just kept pounding the football, utilizing the run game to their full advantage. That was the strength to their offense, and they were able to beat the Eagles and hand them their first loss to the season. But to your point, it was a great game.
It's a fun game. Thanks, Curator Bill. I really appreciate it. If you haven't checked out Curator Bill, go check out his Facebook and YouTube and all of his social media. Curator Bill, he's a cool dude. Been on my show before. Want to get him back on here real soon.
What's up, Bill? What's up, my man? What's going on? And congratulations to you. By the way, Gonzo, I don't know what the award was, but I'm being a gentleman and I'm congratulating you.
We got voted by the Hoosier Wrestling Alliance as the best podcast of the year.
Oh, how nice.
So, yeah.
That's excellent. That's awesome stuff, man. I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you. Great achievement.
Hey, I'll hit you up tomorrow, Bill, and we'll get something set up. That's awesome. He's a cool dude. He
seems like a cool dude.
He's been on the show a couple of times. One time he actually came to my house and we done it live in studio. So he's a cool guy. My dad, he said that Washington had 154 yards rushing and had the ball over 40 minutes. That's what they did. They kept the ball away from that Eagles offense. And so that's what the Colts are going to have to do.
And by running the football, they also kept the ball away from that pretty strong secondary as well. They didn't give their ball hawking defenders a chance to really get their hands on the ball.
Yeah, no, it was a great game. But what do you think about Sunday? Let's talk a little Sunday football. The Vikings get a big win over the Bills. I didn't see a whole lot of that game because I was watching the Colts get a win over the Raiders with a coach coaching his first NFL game after everybody wanted to bash the Colts all week about how bad they were going to look. They weren't going to be able to do anything. First time play caller. And hell, that was the best Colts have looked all season. Honestly. I mean, they beat the Chiefs, but they look better in this game than they did that Chiefs game, the whole game wise. Offensive line finally protected. He brought Matt Ryan back in. But anyway, we'll talk Colts here in a minute. I'm going off the subject. But what do you think about the Minnesota getting a big win over the Bills? And are the Bills still the favorite to get out of the AFC?
Vikings pulled off the biggest upset of the season. I heard some people calling it.
We'll do that, Bill. We'll make that happen again. Sorry, Judge. Go ahead.
You're good. Chris, I've been hearing people calling this the game of the year. But how about Justin Jefferson making that catch?
Dude, that's probably the best catch.
Unbelievable catch.
That's one of the best catches I've ever seen, if not the best catch.
That might be the catch of the year. Holy God.
That might be not the catch of the year, dude. That might be the best catch that anybody's ever seen.
Of the century. Yeah. You can pretty much say that.
I'd have to watch some other ones over again, but man, it's right up there with any catch I've ever seen.
Oh, that was breathtaking. How
not only to be able to take it away from the defender, but to be able to land on the ground and not in the ball and keep that ball from moving and completing the catch. I don't know how he took it from the defender. I thought it was an interception. I don't
know how he took it from the defender either. I mean, I don't know how the heck he caught that, but that was sensational right there. I think it's fair to say that Justin Jefferson is the best NFL receiver in the league today. Today, he has put his stamp.
He's put his name up there for top. He put his name up there for the top three.
He's definitely a top three receiver in this league. He is amazing, man. That dude is.
No, I'd put him in the top three. I don't know if I'd put him number one, but he'd be right. He's right up there in the conversation. I still think D Hop is one of the best. I think D Hop's still top three.
Right. And then you have Kirk Cousins engineering fourth quarter drives, bringing his team back. You know, he was able to make some timely plays.
Tom Selleck says AJ Green on Rams had best catch.
Yeah, you could say that too. But I think the Vikings, man, for one, they're resilient. They're the comeback kids. They always find a way to come back late in games.
Yeah, you have to put Diggs and Cup up there in the top receiver conversation as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Cup is hurt right now. He has a high ankle sprain, so that's going to be interesting. That might mess with me on my fantasy team. Damn it.
Yep. And then how about Adam Thielen? Adam Thielen had a productive day, and this is a guy who hasn't been able to duplicate success from last season.
Well, I don't think it's so much he hasn't duplicated it. I just don't think he's getting as many touches now as he used to.
Would, right?
Cousins is looking for Jefferson a lot more. So I don't think Thielen's getting as many opportunities. I don't think he's getting as many targets as he used to.
And then now you add a tight end to the equation, and then that takes away some of your targets as well. Because look, the Vikings, man, they got a bevy of playmakers who can stretch the field. You know, with all these playmakers that they have now, that creates spacing. So that gives Kirk Cousins more weapons. And Chris, you're right about Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is an underrated quarterback. I think it's fair to say that. Because his numbers always seem to get lost. He puts up big numbers. He has done a better job taking care of the football. He has been clutch in clutch moments, just as much as his receiver, Justin Jefferson, who has had some clutch downs and made some big plays in clutch moments. You saw him on the final drive before the end of regulation on Sunday. Absolutely amazing. Now, let's flip the script a little bit and talk about the Bills and what they didn't do to pull out the win. They turned over the ball too much. Josh Allen had 3 of those turnovers. I believe 4 turnovers, if I'm correct. I think it was 4. 3 wasn't it 3 in the fourth quarter and 1 in overtime? Didn't he have a fumble? He had a fumble late in the game.
At the goal line.
Right, and he had a pair of interceptions, I believe, in the game as well. So Josh Allen didn't really play a clean football game. And this is a guy who, to me, is the number 1 NFL quarterback right now in the NFL, despite the fact that he had a number of mistakes that the Vikings were able to capitalize on in Sunday's game. The Vikings took advantage of those miscues, and they were able to turn those miscues into points. And they came away with a big, big win. And yes, I'm with Dustin. Thielen is now the fourth option because, as we said moments ago, you got Jefferson, who's number 1, so he's going to get more targets. And then you got the new tight end, whose last name that I can't pronounce, and who had an incredible leap in the game. He channeled his innermost Josh Allen by leaping over a defender. I don't know if you saw that, but that was a pretty clean leap over a guy to in his attempt to get a first down.
Talking about Hawkinson?
Yeah. Jefferson is a freak of nature. Jefferson's on another planet. I don't know what planet he's from, but he is definitely not from Earth. And I don't think at this point anyone could bring him back down to Earth. The man is freaking amazing. Killing it. And he set records.
And this kind of goes to what I'm going to lead into. John Suggs says no one's been talking about the Dolphins. Dolphins have been quietly winning games, just like the Vikings have been quietly winning games. Nobody's been really talking about the Vikings either. But do you think that the Buffalo Bills are still the team that could come out of the AFC, or do you think it's going to be maybe Miami or Kansas City?
Well, it's interesting now.
Or another team.
Well, it's interesting now because the Dolphins are playing very, very good football right now. They're playing very good football. They're clicking on all cylinders right now. Everything is trending upwards for this team. I don't know if the Buffalo Bills should be a bit worried right now. I think they still have the upper hand in the division, but if they start to unravel and lose another game, then I'll be more concerned. I'm not so concerned yet, but the Dolphins are right behind them, and they can't scoreboard watch. They can't worry about what the Dolphins are doing, or they will falter. So I think they got to continue to play their game and know that they still control their own destiny. They just need to continue to win football games. I think next week it'll be better for Buffalo. But the Dolphins, to me, I don't know if I'm ready to say that the Dolphins will win the division. I mean, I'll be very, very surprised if they do win the division. I think either way they get in the playoffs. I think they'll get a wild card spot. But Tua has been playing well. He got a number of weapons out there around him now. You talk about Tyreek Hill. You got Jalen Waddle. You got guys that can make plays for you. And this team is looking solid right now. Mike McDaniel has come in and changed the culture. He has brought a winning attitude to that team. So yeah, the Dolphins, man, right now they're looking scary, and they're notching wins. They're notching wins. They're finding a way to get wins. But I still think Buffalo is the team to beat in that division.
Yeah, right now Miami's actually in first in that division. But yeah, I think Buffalo just has to get back to playing their style of football. But
Yeah.
they do struggle. They struggle in close games, man.
Yeah.
If a game is one, they struggle when a game is one possession or less, or a one possession lead. But I'm not ready to say the Dolphins are the team to beat in the AFC. Right now, I would say Kansas City. I think Kansas City is playing probably the best football in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
I still think Buffalo, if they just have to get some guys healthy and get back into a groove, it's gonna be fun to see how Miami progresses as the season goes on. But right now, I would say that. Well, go ahead.
Do you think we get a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game? I mean, it's a possibility.
AFC Championship. So you thinking Bengals in Kansas City? You mean the division game?
Yeah, it was divisional, right? Where the Bills
met
the Chiefs.
Bills and Chiefs. Yeah.
Do you think we'll get that matchup again in the playoffs?
We might. I could see us maybe getting that matchup.
Right. I don't know. Even though like I said, even though the Dolphins lead the division, I still think it's the Bills to win.
You have the Bills, the Chiefs.
I think the Bills, man, they're not gonna let it slip away. I just don't see it happening. They have too many good players over there. They have a pretty good defense too. I know they have been kind of undermanned with some injuries, but
that's one thing that worries me about Buffalo is getting the running game going.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a strong running back, and that's not to take anything away from Devin Singletary. But they should have gotten. They had a chance to get him. I thought that's where he would have ended up. He ended up with the 49ers. Obviously, it's a better fit where Christian McCaffrey landed with the 49ers. But I think if you had acquired him in a trade and you insert him in that offense and you plug him into that offense, watch out. The Bills probably would have won that game on Sunday.
All right, now let's talk the NFC. You mentioned the 49ers they're getting healthy. They got a lot of their weapons back this game. Do you think that the 49ers can be a contender to come out of the NFC? I think they can. If they get healthy, and they're getting healthy now, they stay healthy. I think they're going to be a team that's going to be a hard out in the playoffs. They have a strong defense. And then now with McCaffrey and Samuel, and then now you got Mitchell back there as well. They got a lot of fucking weapons, dude. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be interesting, I should say, to see how they progress. But I think the Vikings, the 49ers, right now would be probably my two favorite to come out of the NFC. You have to have the Eagles up there as well, but I don't know. I like San Francisco. I think they're going to be real dangerous.
What is it now for the 49ers? The 49ers, they beat the Chargers on Sunday. That increased their chances of making the playoffs to 79% from 71%. They have a 79% chance of making the playoffs. And if they do get in the playoffs, which I think they will, excuse me, they'll be a very, very dangerous team. A very, very dangerous team. They have too much offensive firepower. They have a bunch of guys that can hurt you in a variety of ways. They have a coach that's very creative, very innovative, likes to platoon his players. And he has a number of guys that he can move around, that he can shift in the offense. You can come up with trickeration plays. You can, dial up creative plays that can really discombobulate a defense and throw a defense off. It can cause a lot of problems, wreak a lot of havoc. create a lot of confusion for a defense. You have Christian McCaffrey, who to me is a power running back. This guy brings that versatility, brings that fire to an offense. He's a true competitor. It's in his DNA to be an explosive runner, a dynamic player that he is on offense. He can hurt you in so many ways as well. He's good running vertical. He's good running slots. He knows how to run routes. He knows how to, do everything on the damn football field. The guy's everywhere. And then you still have Deebo Samuel. You got a defense. You got a strong linebacker in Fred Warner. I mean, this team is not missing too much of anything. They got all the pieces to make a strong run and to make some noise in the playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the 49ers go on a deep playoff run. Not at all.
No, that's a team I'm really kind of starting to favor out of the NFC just because of all the weapons they have on offense, but they have a good defense as well. That defense, that pass rush can be nasty. I know they're with Bosa, and then like you said, Warner. Man, it's just like my dad said, Mitchell and McCaffrey make a great combo. Then you can also throw Samuel back there in the running back position as well. And then you have, like you said, you have Kyle Shanahan, who he knows how to use the weapons. He gets creative. He's going to come up with different ways to get them the ball in space. So I think it's more chemistry they get because you have to remember McCaffrey's only been there for a couple games, so the more chemistry they all get together, it's going to even get better as the season goes on.
They could really space the field now with McCaffrey.
But what do you think about the Cowboys collapse? Up 14 in the fourth quarter, and Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers come back and win. Who do you blame? Who do you blame for that collapse? Is it on Dak? Is it on McCarthy? Is it on both? What's your thoughts on that game?
It's on both. It's on Dak Prescott, and it's on Mike McCarthy play calling. Well, both of those guys. I'm pointing the finger at both of those guys. You know how I am, Chris. I don't point the finger at one guy. I usually point the finger at multiple guys. And there's no way they should have collapsed in that game. There's no way. That should have been a victory that they should have secured. They should have came out of Lambeau Field on top.
Aaron Rodgers finally found a connection with his young wide receiver Watson for 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And man, tell you what, if the Packers can somehow win their next game, and win 2 or 3 in a row, they could be right back in it to try to get a wild card spot.
I don't see it though. I don't see it. They had Aaron Rodgers had a great day in the office, but I don't see it continuing. I
don't know if they play like they did yesterday, they have a chance if they run the ball. Yesterday,
for sure.
Yesterday the Packers ran the ball 67% of the time. And that's what they have. The way their team is built right now, that's what they have to do. They got to run the ball, and because your best 2 weapons besides your quarterback, you have a Hall of Fame quarterback, but your best 2 weapons is Dylan and Aaron Jones. You use them guys, and they did that yesterday. And guess what? Guess what happens when you get your running game going? Oh, it opens up the passing game. Now your wide receiver ends up with 3 touchdowns. And a lot of that is because you were able to run the ball.
Yep. Good things will happen if you establish a run game.
And like my dad said, the Cowboys defense has been having trouble with the run here lately as well. And see, the Colts still have to play the Eagles, play the Cowboys. So Colts have a tough schedule coming up. But what'd you think about Jeff Saturday's NFL coaching debut with the Colts getting a big win over the Raiders?
Look, he wasn't a popular choice. A lot of people didn't understand why the Colts made this move. We talked about this last week that it was from a cultural standpoint, he was brought in to, to be that guy for right now if it doesn't go into next season and beyond. But this just goes to show you that you don't have to hire a flashy name, or you don't have to have a guy that is well known around the National Football League. It can be a guy, that played in the organization, that has ties to the organization, that played with Peyton Manning back in the day. Jeff Saturday, it brings a winning attitude to that Colts organization. It showed. It showed in that game. And you brought it up too, Chris, that the reason he was hired to help fix that O-line. And look how better that O-line played. They made adjustments. They came together. The pocket didn't collapse as much. They were able to protect the quarterback. They allowed the quarterback to extend plays, to keep the ball alive. So Jeff Saturday, and I know it was only one game against a Raiders team that's having a crappy year, but Jeff Saturday was very impressive to me. And I loved his press conference last week. I love everything he said in that press conference. I like Jeff Saturday's demeanor. I like the energy that he brings. And sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a different voice. Someone to come in and you gravitate to that person. You kind of take on that person's personality. And I think that's what we've seen with this Colts team.
Yeah, and like John said, he actually used Taylor, and you can tell the run game plan changed. And
yes,
and the whole reason this is why I think he was hired or put in as an interim coach. What's the number one quality you need to be a head coach in NFL, head coach in anything, or a CEO of a business? What's number one quality you need? To be a leader. That's what a good head coach is. He's a leader because he delegates everything to his other coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he was hired in there, because he's a good leader. If you talk to people, that's the first thing they say about Jeff Saturday. He's a great guy, great leader. So he went in there and he empowered the new offensive coordinator that never called plays before, empowered him to let him do his job. You know what I mean? Went and not trying to control everything, trusting his assistants, they looked a hell of a lot better. And I think that's why he was brought in, though, because he's not thinking about analytics. If you looked over on the sideline, he looked loose, didn't look nervous. And if you watch a couple of Colts games from the last few weeks, Frank Reich looked, he looked nervous. You could tell there was a lot of stress there. He didn't look loose like Saturday did in that first game. It's going to be interesting to see how they do in this second game against the Eagles. I understand it was against the Raiders, but we didn't. But everybody acted like we were going to go out there and look like we didn't know what the hell was going on, and that's not what happened. They looked organized. The team looked like they've really bought in to Jeff Saturday as the coach. They played hard and got a big win. Now we have to try to get another big win. If we can string together some wins, we can fight ourselves back into the wild card picture. But it's going to be interesting. I thought Jeff Saturday done a great job, but I think the whole Colts staff done a great job. One thing that kind of aggravated me during the game is, and Dustin's right. He started Ryan and brought Ryan back in. Look what happened. Ryan was 21 for 27. We ran the ball a lot. I like the way the offense looked. But one thing that kind of bothered me during the game is, after every play, dude, they would pan up and show the coaches in the box, and then the camera would go right on Jeff Saturday. It's like, you don't do this for any other coach. Just fucking show the game. Just because he has no NFL experience, that's all they want. You know what I mean? That's the only narrative they wanted to talk about.
Right.
So many people trashed the Colts all week about it.
Right.
We'll see what happens, but hey, he got him to play. they look probably the best they've looked all year yesterday. So hopefully it can keep carrying over. And I thought it was a good move to start Ryan. I thought Ryan got pulled a little too quick anyway. But I'm wondering if Jeff Saturday told Jim Irsay up front, like when he asked him about coaching, was like, "Am I going to be able to do what I want to do?" I think I think he knew he wanted to start Matt Ryan. So because I think Irsay was the one that benched Matt Ryan. At least that's what basically the reports were coming out when that happened. Was basically Irsay was doing that. But so I think Irsay's given Saturday a little bit of, you know what I mean, a little bit of power, let him do it his way.
Giving him more leeway.
Yeah, let him do it his way.
And that's because they have kind of developed a personal relationship. Remember, Jeff Saturday used to play there. So, yeah, he's probably letting him, have more leeway. Let him, have more power of the team as a whole. And whatever he did, it worked. It worked on Sunday. Let's see if that continues. Let's see if the trend continues. And let's see if the Colts can be this year's Phillies of football.
Got the Eagles at home this weekend, so it's going to be a big game.
Could be a turning point for him, for sure.
It'd be nice if we can come out with a victory.
It could be a turning point for him, and I say, let Jonathan Taylor set the tone. Let him set the tone.
You think McDaniels is going to be done after this year? Or you think they give him another season?
I heard reports that he's coming back next season, regardless. I don't think he should. I think he should be fired. Then I heard a rumor today that he was going to get fired. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Derek Carr basically called out the locker room and said there was guys in there that didn't work like the other guys. So I think the Raiders have some culture issues over there right now.
Infighting chaos going on in that locker room.
Derek Carr was almost crying during the press conference. You see that press conference?
Yep. And I posted a meme earlier that also blew up on the internet with Jeff Saturday sitting on the porch with Ice Cube. Remember the scene where Ice Cube was sitting on the porch next to Chris Tucker in the movie Friday? Well, they replaced Chris Tucker with Jeff Saturday, and they got Derek Carr above crying during the press conference. Man, them people that create the memes, they're savages, man. I know I've created some myself.
But dude, there's some stuff going on in that Raiders locker room. There has to be for him to be like that. That's just, I don't know. It was kind of hard to watch. It was weird. You know what I mean?
Well, if that's the case, then Josh McDaniels lost the team. He lost the team. It's time.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. He lost the team. He lost that locker room.
Was there any other games or surprises in the NFL for you this weekend?
No, those were all my surprises. The Bills going down to the Vikings, the Cowboys, laying an egg against the Packers.
How many more games does Dak have to throw a couple interceptions, have a turnover before the Cowboy Nation is hollering for Cooper Rush back?
It don't matter if Cowboy Nation is hollering for Cooper Rush. We won't see him as a starting quarterback for the rest.
I don't think you will either. I'm just saying
though. Knowing Jerry Jones and this being Jerry's world.
I don't see him changing. I'm just saying that
there's no
Cowboy
way.
fans.
Cowboy fans are definitely gonna be begging for Jerry Jones and of course Mike McCarthy to go back to Cooper Rush. But again, that's not gonna happen. Cooper Rush is a backup at best. Dak will be the starting quarterback unless he suffers another injury that has him sidelined.
Yeah, now you have Cooper Kupp sideline, and the Rams have been terrible in offense. So now
Rams are
it's not good for them.
The Rams are out of sync. They, are struggling on offense. The offense looks stagnant. The stagnation continues to hinder their success. They're not able to, really get a run game going. Matthew Stafford has reverted back to old habits. The offensive line is not sturdy enough to protect him. The offensive line is not, doing enough to allow him to extend plays. It's bad for Sean McVay's Rams. And this is the worst that we've seen a Sean McVay led Rams team. This is the worst.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that this could be McVay's last year coaching.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, not that the Rams get rid of him, that he leaves. That he's from what I was hearing, that he could be there 1 year or be there 3 more years. But basically, it's almost like a year to year thing. That he's going to at least take some time off, and he might come back later on. But from what I was hearing, he has a plan where he wants to take some time off. So I
think if anybody leave, it's Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald had contemplated retirement, but because they paid him,
the person I heard talking about it, that's what they were saying, that he's probably, that McVay's probably gone when Donald's gone, and when Stafford's gone, that McVay's probably gone too.
It will really be a different look for the Rams if that happens, if both of those guys go.
And they don't have no draft capital because they've got rid of all their draft picks and stuff. Basically, went all in for a Super Bowl last year.
Well, hey, they won it, so
yeah. No, I mean you got your Super Bowl, but now
all those big bets paid off.
John Suggs says NCAA football, but been saying it all year. But you move Drake May up higher on the Heisman? 519 total yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing, and 0 interceptions this past weekend. I do think he should be moved up. Just Drake May's a guy that nobody's talking about. He's a hell of a quarterback. I think he's going to be a good quarterback at the next level as well.
I was just about to say that. Now, see, he's one of those guys that will go to the NFL and shine.
But I think what hurts him with the Heisman is a lot of people don't know who he is.
Right.
Because he hasn't played a lot. He hasn't played a lot on the national level, where a lot of people know who he is. So that's the only reason I don't think he'll get the Heisman. But he's putting up numbers where, he should be up there higher towards it. And people shouldn't sleep on Drake May. I really believe he's going to be a good quarterback at the next level.
Drake May is nice.
I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if the Colts drafted him. I think that'd be a good guy. Not saying he could come in and start first year, but I think he could. Give him a year or two, I think he could really come in and be a decent quarterback in the league. Have you seen him play?
I've seen him play. He's nice. He has a great skill set, and he looks like a quarterback that can really translate over to the next level. And wherever he go, he'll be a great consolation prize. That's for sure. Because he has the tools and the makings to be a solid NFL quarterback, and he would be probably a franchise quarterback somewhere. You know why? Because those are usually the quarterbacks that go to the next level and they succeed. The ones that nobody talk about. That's true.
Yeah, it happens sometimes like that. OBJ expected to make decision during Thanksgiving. Dallas, Minnesota, Kansas City, and Buffalo are the favorites, says Stat Guy.
Well, the Rams are out.
I'd heard the same thing. I'm still saying he's going to go to Buffalo. That's where I've said the whole time. So I'm sticking with Buffalo. I know Dallas is making a big push for him as well. I mean, hell, if he goes to any of them teams, he's going to help.
Make an impact. Yeah. He's gonna make an impact wherever he goes. I don't see him going to Dallas. I don't know though. Dallas normally pulls off, signings
Hey,
like this, and they usually go after the
hey,
divas and
Jerry Jones' hand don't cramp when he writes checks.
right. That's true. That's true. And he will write the check for OBJ. If he wrote the check for Terrell Owens, uh, uh, um, uh, what's the other dude back in the day? He's dead now. Rest his soul. Terry Glenn. He wrote a check for Terry Glenn. If he wrote checks for receivers who were renegade players and who had a history of on-field or off-field incidents, then he'll definitely take OBJ in a heartbeat. And he's had some good, the Cowboys have some good receivers in the past. I just mentioned two. Dez Bryant is another one. I mean, if there's one guy that will snatch up a wide receiver, it would be Jerry Jones. But I think the Buffalo Bills are definitely in play. And I think the Minnesota Vikings will be in play as well, too.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's going to end up in Buffalo.
I think he'll either go to Buffalo or Kansas City or Minnesota. I don't think Dallas so much. I think he really wants to go somewhere where he knows he can really have another shot at winning the Super Bowl. And Buffalo and Kansas City, to me, look like the two teams that's more ready to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes because, like I said, he could make an impact on any of these teams he goes
He
to.
will make an impact.
If he's used the right way. If they use him like the Rams did last year, yes, but you can't bring him in and expect him to be your number one receiver. He's not that guy anymore after having 2 knee surgeries. But he still can be productive. But he's more of like your second option. But he's going to still. People are going. He's going to help your offense because coverage is going to go to him. So if you put him like on Minnesota, put him on one side, and you have Justin Jefferson on the other side. Defenses start getting screwed because that how you going to cover everybody when because then you have Hawkinson. You know what I mean? So he's going to make an impact wherever he goes. John Suggs says Colts, Pats, and Dolphins in his opinion, his favorites. I wouldn't be mad if the Colts brought him in. If you added him with our young receiving core, I think that'd be a good move. I wouldn't be mad at all if that happened. Patriots and Dolphins. If he went to the Dolphins, look at the impact he could make with the Dolphins with already having Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
Yeah,
he put OBJ in there.
Magnificent impact there too with the Dolphins.
Yeah, he can make it.
No matter where he go, he could go to the Texans and make an impact. I mean, he wouldn't go there, but I'm just saying.
Go to the Texans.
Go to the Jaguars and help the young kid out. Trevor Lawrence.
The Hawks beat the Bucks tonight. I got that right. I'm checking I was checking some of my picks. Do my picks for last week. I do a sports betting show, right?
Yeah, I know.
My picks.
You be knowing your stuff too. That's your area of expertise right there. I'm not a big sports bettor or gambler.
My bet. I give out my best picks each day. And for last week, I was 27-15 on the picks I gave out.
Wow.
So had a pretty good week last week with the picks I've been giving out. I had the Commanders tonight at plus 11.5. So that I got that right since they won.
Wow, you had the Commanders beating the Eagles?
No, I took them in the points. Plus, I had 11.5.
I don't really understand.
I had 11.5. I had 11.5 points. So as long as the Commanders didn't lose by more than 11 points, I would have you win.
Okay, got you.
Because they were 11.5 point underdogs.
Got you. Yeah, see, I don't know how all that stuff
John,
works.
John Suggs says, "Were you shocked Lakers beat the Nets?"
Yes, but
Yeah, but without LeBron, I was kind of shocked.
yeah, I was shocked, but
Anthony
the Nets
Davis finally
are
Anthony Davis kind of stood up and showed he had a little dog in him for once.
good. It's
And
about
dominated.
time because there are some nights where he just comes across as soft, and there's nights where you, as a Laker fan, you just want the front office to finally trade him, get rid of him. But he's gonna have to show that he has fight. He's gonna have to be more aggressive. He's gonna have to attack the basket more. Stop settling for jump shots. Attack the basket, dude. You're tall. You have a lot of size. Establish a post game. Get inside and make something happen inside the paint. And stop settling for all these damn shots. I think he's afraid to attack the rim with authority and to work his way inside the paint. And I think a lot of that's because he knows that he's brittle and fragile and he doesn't want to suffer another injury that will keep him out of action. I think that's his biggest fear. At least that's what I see from Anthony Davis.
It could be. I know he don't like being physical. He don't really most of the time don't like the physical contact down there. That's why he don't like playing.
He doesn't like the physical.
That's why he don't like playing the 5. That's why he don't like
He
playing.
don't like playing the center position. No, he doesn't.
He don't want to bang down there.
Because he used to be a guard, so he has that mentality that he still is a guard. He was a guard when he was in high school.
Yeah. You're not guard no more.
Before he moved into the front court.
Not a guard no more.
Like a guard. Bro, you're not a guard. Stop. Use your size and your athleticism and your wingspan to be more effective in the paint.
Since you're the resident Laker fan,
draw some fouls.
Can the Lakers get into a? Can the Lakers make the play-in, or can they make the playoffs?
No, their season's not salvageable at this point. I've already said that. They're done. They're done. I don't care if they won against the Nets. That's not something they're going to build on. They're going to lose. They're going to lose probably the next game. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. This team is not constructed to win a championship. They're not built to win a championship. They're not assembled like a championship team. They got a bunch of weak players and guys who can't shoot. This Laker team is weak. They're soft. They got a lot of players who can't make jump shots if their lives depended on it. Russell Westbrook has improved. I will give him that. He has improved slightly. He has made better effort.
A stat guy says, is it wrong to say Lakers play better without LeBron?
They did. Because when he's on the court, they become spectators. They start standing around and watching him and see what he's gonna do. Or what he can bring to the offense. They're standing around watching and not really giving all their effort as they did without him. So, yeah, they might be better without him on the floor. I'm going to say this again, though. The Lakers need, and I know I keep repeating myself, but the Lakers need to look into becoming a younger team.
I agree. I think they're going to I think they need to trade.
Enough with these old souls.
I think they need to trade LeBron.
They do. They need to trade AD too. They need to trade Russell Westbrook too. Trade all three of them.
You got rid of all your young players, and now you have a bench full of older guys that can't shoot.
You mortgage your future to try to win now, and it hasn't really worked for you. Yes, you won the championship in 2020, but let's remember there was a stoppage, and that was in a pandemic-shortened season. So I mean, this Lakers team, man, they got a lot of work. They got a lot of work that needs to be done. And again, it starts with the front office.
Yeah, I got a lot of work. Tell you what, the Pacers ain't looking too bad. We got a nice, solid young core. Halliburton's playing well. Our rookie, Benedict Matherin's playing good.
Oh, that dude from Arizona. Yeah, I watched a lot of him when he played at Arizona.
He's playing. He's playing good.
Oh yeah, he could ball. He could ball. He's definitely got potential.
Oh yeah, the other night he had 23 in the first half.
He's looking good. He's looking good for the Pacers. That was a good pick.
All right, Judge, you got anything else? Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about before we get out of here tonight?
Well, the Marlins made history today. I don't know if you heard, but they hired a female president of business operations today. And it's a big story. This is groundbreaking. It's a groundbreaking day for the Miami Marlins. A trailblazing executive who paves the way for female athletes. This is amazing. So today we should take a time to honor her efforts, her accomplishments, and her great promotion that has put her in a position where she has gained more power to work in the front office and help build a franchise. It's great for sports. This is great. It radically alters the sports landscape. And congratulations to her. She deserves it. And, the Marlins named her the president of business operations. Now the Marlins are the first team in major U.S. professional sports to have women as both president and as a general manager. Kim Ying, how you pronounce her last name? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
She became the first female general manager, you might remember, in the history of North American professional sports when the Marlins hired her in 2020. So now you got two women in the front office together, and that's just amazing. But I think over the years, sports has become one of the most powerful platforms for promoting gender equality and empowering young women and girls, to chase their dreams and reach their ultimate goals.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. Also, before we get out of here, thoughts and prayers with everybody affected by the University of Virginia. You had a shooting there. Three Virginia football players were passed away. It was actually an ex-football player. I'm not going to get into the whole dig a hole in the whole story of it, but it's just a sad situation. And they still haven't decided if they're going to play their game this weekend against Coastal Carolina or not. But it's a sad situation. So thoughts and prayers with everybody involved with that. Because it's crazy.
Senseless.
All right. Before we get out of here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room, also at the Sports Judge, and also at the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network. Like and follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room, and at the All Sports All Plays Network. You can also like and follow the Judge's Facebook page, because he never promotes his Facebook page. All he talks about is his YouTube channel. So I'll promote it for him. So check his Facebook page. But no, we appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody in the comment section. We'll be back Wednesday night at 11 with another episode of Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. But on behalf of Jonathan Mathis, the Sports Judge, I'm Chris Gonzo Gonzalez. We'll see you guys Wednesday night at 11. Hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for joining us.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.